Hey, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Today, let's talk about fighting the good fight. Okay, so if you were at the live stream last Friday night, you may have heard me talk a little bit at the end of the hour, talk a little bit about my past coming to the UK and getting into IT, starting my career and everything like that at the age of 25, right? Working in a factory, packing yogurt into boxes for a couple of months for 8 hours a night. And I talked about this again on a video last year called getting to where you weren't supposed to be. It's kind of a long one, it's like 20 minutes long. You know, how I came over here, and I was actually, my self-esteem was very low, right? We had a baby, and I was just like thinking, how could I make ends meet, because I had this minimum wage job in the factory packing yogurt, right? And I was applying to every job I could, right? So unlike other people who were working at the dairy, when we were coming home, I was like getting like every newspaper they had, which I could not afford, right? And going through the job ads, and I was sending off CVs to every place, whether or not I was qualified or not. I was sending off like 10 or 20 CVs a day, so it cost me a lot in stamps because I didn't have, they had email back then, but I didn't have enough to pay for the computer and everything, or internet, because it was 98, right? So I went through that, and I'm sending off the CVs, and even though I'm thinking, I felt like really like I would have been happy just to have a job that would pay me 20 grand a year and I could support my family, hopefully work in an office or something like that, feel like a grown-up rather than a factory, right? But I was still going through the process of doing the CVs and sending them out every day, even though a lot of the people around me couldn't figure out why I was doing that, because I had a perfectly good job, right? You have a job, why are you applying for other jobs? Because I want my life to be better, right? And it's always been this way in my life, where I'm at some place, or I'm working someplace, or I'm doing something, and everyone says, you should be really happy with what you have, which is true, you should. I mean, things could always be worse. You could always, in your life, you could always find people who are better off than you, or who are worse off than you, and depending on how good you want to feel, you'll look at the people who are worse off than you, or the people who are better off than you. But I was always fighting the good fight, right? I'm going to continue doing these CVs and see if anything works. And over 2 months, I only got like 3 interviews, right? And one of them was for a tech job, and like I said, I bought a suit for £8 at a charity shop, went there and did all that kind of stuff. But one of the reasons why I love all the people on this channel is because we all have the same motivation. We're always trying to improve our lives. We're always fighting the good fight. A lot of people out there, you're doing the same kind of things. So you're putting it, like you have your job, you're doing what you need to do, and you're putting apps out on the app market and hoping that they'll work out. And a lot of times people around you, they don't understand why you're doing that. Why can't you just be happy with what you're doing? They may have fallen into apathy. They may think this is just the way life is supposed to be, and you looking at it and thinking, no, I want more than this. And that's the way it's always been through my life. For the longest time, for the longest time, I thought, I'm never going to be the kind of guy who goes to an office every day. And then I was going to an office every day thinking, I'm never going to be the kind of guy who has his own, who has a bit more control over their own schedule and has their own company. And then you have that, and then you think, I'm never going to, so you're always thinking about, but I'm going to fight the good fight. I'm going to do what I have to do, right? And a lot of times the things that have held me back in my life has always been the lack of self-esteem. I wish, you see somebody with gobs of self-esteem and no talent, sometimes I think they're better off than someone with lots of talent and no self-esteem, right? If you ever see somebody who's out for a run, right, and they're like overweight, and if you say you've seen me out for a run, touche, very well done. But you see somebody who's out for a run and they're overweight, you think, that guy has not fallen into apathy, or that guy or gal, whatever. Like if you see somebody who's thin and out for a run, and they obviously do it all the time, that's one thing. But if you see someone who's just starting out, you look at them and you think, that person is fighting the good fight. They haven't fallen into apathy. They realize they need to change. They're going out and doing it. They probably feel a bit silly doing it, right? Their friends are probably saying, so you still going out for a run, huh? Right? But they're doing it. They're out there doing it. A lot of times, I love that. I love seeing that. Earlier this week, to change subjects a little bit, I did a Google search on the average salary in the UK. I was kind of curious about how much do you need to actually live out here? Because there's certain times where I feel like I don't have enough. Sometimes I feel like we're doing okay. The average salary in the UK, according to a GQ article in May, is 27,271 pounds. That's the average. I mean, I'm not talking about for kids starting out, I'm talking about like in general. So, you know, some people are making, you know, 50, 60, 70. I was obviously, yeah, I was way up there at one point. But there's a lot of people at 10, 11, 12. Right, and 27,000 is $36,000, and to me that seems painfully low. It seems so like anyone who's on 27,000 should be trying to get up above that level, in my opinion. They should be doing, not just, you have to do the bit you have to do. You have to do the job and take care of what you're doing, but then there's also that extra which you have to do. You have to fight the good fight and think, I'm going to get out of this stage and I'm going to go to the next thing, even though nobody around me is doing it. I believe in fighting the good fight. I believe that one of the reasons why I love talking to you guys on the live stream and through the comments is because we are all like-minded. We're all trying to improve each other, and we're doing things that may not work. If we knew for certain it was going to work, putting an app on the app market, it would be easy. In fact, everybody would be doing it, but we don't know it's going to work. We're putting things out there, and we're going to market, and we're going to push, and we're going to push, and if it doesn't work out, at some point we might have to say we need to try something else, but we're in the arena, and we're doing what we have to do, and the people out there with the safe, secure jobs, they don't get it. So anyway, just some of my thoughts for today. I'm glad to know you guys. I'm glad you're here. Let me know what you guys think. Anyway, that's it for today. I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow.